Livpure. Sir, people are going to make you, I'm sure your customers make you accountable for every drop of water in their kitchen and millions of them. How are you even managing? That's what we want to hear from you today. And I'm sure lots of stories and lots of lessons that we can carry from here. How's it going, sir?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mehraj, and thank you, Karan, for having me out here. So I think uh, I must congratulate and applaud Karan for what he's created in a short span of time. I think having witnessed so many entrepreneurs' journey over a period of a time, I would say and acknowledge that Karan has done it in a fair good amount of time as such. So congratulations to you, Karan, for putting this together. I mean, of course, been in 32 years at helm at various companies, and I probably put it this way that the last 4 years of my experience are equivalent to the first 28 years of my experience. That's the world which has changed in the last 4 5 years. It's like you can't put the foot off the pedal at any point of the time. So I think the changes are happening consistently, constantly, and I think I would believe that one of the biggest detriments what I see is success, because brands do get success, say for example in a period of time, but I would always believe that in today's VUCA world, which is so volatile, I think success only reinforces what's happened yesterday. It doesn't emphasize on the future as such. So you can see in today's world we are seeing customers evolving faster than products, technology is evolving faster than product roadmaps, and then there are new entrants who are evolving faster than incumbents. So in majority of the categories right now you can see an asymmetric competition. You may have 6 7 players, two are legendary players, established players who've been there for decades. Then there are two who have just entered and they're disrupting the whole piece as such. So fairly asymmetric competition, but at the same time I think exciting time. So I'm loving it.
Superb. I think we must congratulate you for not just water, but you've actually penetrated so successfully in the entire appliances, and I think you're even delivering mattresses with your brand Live Pure. See, I think you rightly pointed out, by the time you design and deliver, expectations have already changed. And so, how do you think marketing itself is evolving? Is it very, very chaotic? Is that the right word, or it's more organized now that you have more technology?
Of course, I mean, we always used to always say, for example, 10 years before, around 2015, we always used to say that how do we deliver customized experience to a customer, and how do we build experience around our offerings? I think it was very difficult, but now technology stands at a layer which actually makes this customized experience to a customer much more easier, I would say, than what it was earlier. So if you have a tech layer suitably defined, added over your communication layer, so I think you can build in customized experiences as well. So that's where I see the brands which are I wouldn't say younger, which are more nimble, which are more agile, are able to put across in communication in a more customized fashion.
But what do you really keep in your mind? Because, like you said, couple of players in the market of 7 8 big players are actually new players and disruptors. And so, when you're choosing a tech layer over your product or your message, what do you really worry about? You worry about the new disruptor, or you worry about the old customer which has been with you through the years, or you actually focus on the bigger competition that you might have in that market. So I think I find people more and more, if I can use that word, confused, or actually trying every morning, trying something new. Isn't that actually disrupting the marketing process itself? So how does one keep pace with that, especially someone like you who's having such diverse set of products?
So I think it all starts with the inciting process. I think today's marketeers should know the power of inciting as a process. And when I say inciting as a process, most of the marketers actually focus on how to solve today's problems and how to solve today's unmet needs. But I think typically, if you look that how can you solve the problems of tomorrow, and you start planning then from today, that's how the newer players are proving to be disruptors, because they are engaged themselves into solving problems of tomorrow. They're not focusing on today. So you have established players who believe that, they've got success for 3 decades, 4 decades, and they have the right to keep on, winning all the time, but that's not going to happen. Your today's experience, your today's consumer is not looking at at a brand. He's not giving you that kind of a respect what you are wanting from a brand. He's giving respect for ownership. He's giving respect for experience. Experience is overriding ownership. So I think marketing will play a very, very critical role sitting on the basis of, or sitting on the layer of tech as such, and today AI gives you so many options that how could you actually customize your offerings. But it all starts, Mehraj, with an inciting process. What are the problems? What possible problems you'll solve for tomorrow? I think that's where marketers will have to play a very defined role, so to say.
I think insights play a very, very important role. So, how the journey has been, particularly when I say Livpure Smart, you've done great, and also you're in a very competitive market. On top of it, the customer expectations, because you are in someone's kitchen, you are in someone's bedroom, and appliances, etc., etc. So, how the whole journey has been?
So I think, to be very frank with you, it all started from, if you see India, India is a vast country of 1.5 billion people, but you must be astonished people out here to see that, our penetration of electrical water purifiers is just 8% of the Indian population. We're talking of 30 crore Indian families and them having only 2.5 crore families having a water purifier. So I think we all started out with the thought that how can we give the access of purified water and how do we democratize the access of purified water, and that's how we started identifying the problems. I think that's the inciting process. Why didn't the penetration, today you see mobile in India, in cities like where we are sitting, the penetration has reached 200%, so which means everyone is replacing the mobile at certain point of the time. You see panels, TVs, 77-80% penetration. Why water such an important thing is at 8% penetration? And fundamentally, then you have so many alternatives to drinking water. The one is sitting in front of me are these beautiful bottles. And as we talk about so-called mineral water bottles, is a $5 billion industry and more than 600 brands, 700 brands. And by the time we finish talking, there might be 1 or 2 launches which would have happened. So I think we went fundamentally to see that how do we actually reach out to billions of Indians through water. So we identified 2 big problems. One was a problem of course, affordability and penetration still remain key to India, because if India has to grow volume. And the second was what today's consumer is looking at: total cost of ownership. It's not just about what I'm acquiring the product. So traditional and legendary players in this category believed, that while we deliver a good product to them, it's the service revenue which will actually bolster them. So while you bought a water purifier for 15,000 or thereabouts, every year the guy used to come and ask for an annual maintenance contract of 6,000, 7,000, and you don't even know whether your water purifier actually requires it. Yeah. So we solved the problem on a basis of tech, where we told the consumers that you don't need to pay even a single dime for having a water purifier installed. We install it free of cost, and what we call the subscription. So you pay as you go. You can have 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. And that too, we transfer the power in the hands of the consumer. So, which I call the experiential marketing, or a predictable customer, predictability in your approach. So those are IoT devices. So customer can actually know whether his sediment filter, carbon filter is going bad or not. Because, the filter will show based on certain algorithms that it has 15% lifespan or this. So consumer today cannot be misled. He has on his app, he can actually see. And the moment, if there is a 15% life left on a filter, our center, the CRM, receives the note, and there's an outbound call to the customer that, can we come to your home? Can we replace this free of cost? Because we do it. The subscription is absolutely pay as you go. You don't need to pay any annual maintenance contract. You don't need to pay any service. And as we're seeing that, our TG is something who believes in experience. So this kind of a model gives an engagement model with the consumer. So whether tomorrow I have to make the consumer, I can even, know about what I call a possible consumer churn. Yeah. So if the consumer is not happy with my service for whatever reasons, you can predict through these machines
Oh,
that
that's a
there's going to
great
be a
insight.
possible churn as well.
That's
So
absolutely great insight,
yeah,
sir, because I come from media industry. All my life I've spent in news media, almost 25 years. And how many people here have at least 2 subscriptions of news media? I doubt. Oh, I can see only one hand, maybe few, 10, 15. So in that industry, subscriptions have been like a very steep ride. We are talking all the gyan about share of wallet and experience of reading, and can we really put, a famous and leading brand in India, which was highly revered for its news writing and long format stories and very credit worthy stories, is actually selling loans on their homepage now. So subscriptions have been really tough thing for us. So what was that insight that actually inspired you to start a subscription for water purifiers? I mean, I'm really sort of amazed.
so I think I mean there have been many inspirations to be very start with. I think when Netflix comes readily to my mind, I think when they disrupted the entire DVD rental businesses. So of course, I mean that's a part of the entertainment, and people would like to pay money to see that. In our case, it was definitely the experience part. Well, for many consumers, a water purifier was like a black box, and that guy used to come to his home and say, "मैडम अभी आप बीमार नहीं हुए, आप नहीं हो रहे, आपका पानी तो इतना खराब है, खारा है," and the
Yeah.
consumers didn't know because it was
Yeah,
a
we
black
don't know.
box in front of you.
Yeah.
So I think when you really address a real consumer problem, so that was a start of the inciting. The inciting process actually started from it, and now we moved a long way back, whether it's in predictable maintenance or it is something called predictable maintenance, what kind of a water you're consuming. We even guide them, what's your TDS, what should be your output TDS. And if you need, say for example, some consumers say that I want to have an alkaline output, so our service technician goes and puts up an alkaline filter at no extra cost. Now we are even giving a hot and ambient water, and we are even now in next month we're going to launch various immunity boosters in the water itself, which we can do that. So I think it's a consistent engagement, and it's not that you give a subscription, forget it, and just collect your money after and forget it. I think it's a continuous process of building a consumer's experience over a longer period of a time.
Absolutely. I gather
And
all
I
these
think-
lessons. I think tech layering of the marketing message is important, experience is important, and first of all, you said insights are most important to start with. Any other lessons that you want to share in your marketing journey with everybody here? That
Yeah, I think I would address my marketing counterparts out here, my fellows, is that the biggest challenge is when we don't do a reinforcing of a message for a longer time. So there's a typical J curve which majority of the newer brands or entry brands face, and based on the shareholders' pressures, returns on investment, people tend to get out of that J curve because 80 to 85% of the new entrants or even established players are moving out of the business because they can't they get stuck in the J because in order to go out from the J and to scale up the business, you have to show patience, you have to keep on reinforcing the message. So once you've done your inciting process, if you don't reinforce that message day in and day out, I think that's where your impatience takes over you and you lose out the business and you do it. So I think uh, uh, my message to the marketers would be stay at it. I think building experiences, talking experience is very easy, but how do you build that experience? And experience is not a one-day phenomenon. It's a consistent engagement, day in, day out. And what better models than subscription, because you get to engage with the consumers day in and day out.
definitely, I think you keep on getting these insights from customer on a regular basis. Any story that you want to share quickly with us of a tough time? We all go through deadlines and plan failures and plan changes and approvals, and that's an endless struggle in every marketing cell, in every office, and even if public relations. That's something I'm doing for last 3 years, particularly as a boutique consulting firm. I realize that it's a very delicate path. Any story that you want to share quickly with friends here?
So I think many, of course, I mean, given the fact that success is earned, and success nowadays is much more difficult because I was telling somebody the other day, he was complaining there's so much of uncertainty, geopolitical tensions and stuff like that. So I think increasingly what I felt that uncertainty is becoming the new certainty, and I tell my team if the situation becomes certain, think of it as an uncertain time. So that's the kind of a world which we are living in today. But yes, of course, I mean, we do face all these challenges day in and day out. I think one of the bigger challenges is, typically earlier days, customers used the escalation process through a certain escalation matrix. But now the first escalation of a customer most of the times is social media themselves. So you got to be on your heels most of the time. So I think challenges are something which we face every day, and how best the marketeer can overcome is that you have to focus on future and look at those solutions which probably may be required by the consumer tomorrow. Maybe not today, but tomorrow. I think there are enough examples which people have done, whether it's a category creation like an Airbnb guys, or experience like an iPhone, or building platforms like an Amazon Web Services. So I think if brands and if marketeers work on that, actually, I think there's a huge possibility that you may not make yourself immune to competition, but I think you will have a longer time in terms of establishing yourself, and I think that's critical to success nowadays.
Very well said, sir. Success is earned, and I think we must congratulate you for having earned it so well. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Mehraj, for having me. Thank you so much.